Welcome to unPACKed, an open-minded podcast taking a clinical, not political approach to helping pet parents around the world. I'm Sailor Jerri, certified dog trainer, virtual dog training revolutionary, owner of Tulsa Pack Athletics, and creator of the open-minded approach.
And I'm Mattison, her friend, certified dog trainer and behavior consultant. Together, we have nearly 3 decades of experience in behavioral dog training.
We've been working with real dogs and the humans who love them to create solutions to problematic behaviors that feel too big for them to tackle on their own.
In this special 2-part event, we're digging into something a little more personal. 3 years and 12 cases later, we're finally ready to unpack the humans behind the podcast. And since nothing is off limits when the two of us are together, you can expect to see both our sentimental and our silly sides. If you've ever wondered, just who are Jerri and Mattison? Settle in with us and unpack.
I'm going to start with, how would you describe yourself in 5 words, 5 individual words?
Ambitious, kind, curious, humble, hilarious.
You pointed the fly swatter on that one. Hilarious.
Hilarious.
I would agree with all of those.
Thank you. And people are like, people that say that they're humble aren't humble. And I'm like, no. People that think that you can't have humility and speak on it, that's the problem. It's you. It's your perception about what being humble really is. And I heard a really great definition of being humble from one of my friends, Austin M. from AA. He says that being humble is actually really just being aware of what you are capable of and what you are not, and being really honest about that. And I think that captures me very well. I know what I'm capable of and I know what I'm not. And I try to be honest about that and not delude myself that I can do things that I can't do, or that I can't do things that I can do.
Yeah.
I think that's true humility.
I like that definition. What is something that makes you smile, like as a reflex, like without thinking?
Immediately, I can tell you right now. Seeing someone rise to the occasion of their moment is my favorite thing on the planet. When the heat of the burner is on, and now it's time to put our money where our mouth is. Now it's time to see if everything that we've invested and everything that we've put in, can we put it all together in this moment and step into the spotlight? And man, when somebody or some animal does that,
when like everything's on the line and it's the moment.
It doesn't even, I mean, it doesn't even need to necessarily be like that there's something at risk. It could just be somebody finally having the courage to stand on the street corner and sing the song that they wrote, or you know what I mean? Or somebody finally riding that 8 seconds on that bull, or somebody, when you're like that, some type of consistent courage had to appear inside of them.
That was the word that just was floating up in me. It was like a moment
in the
of courage.
face of all obstacles, in the face of even their fear, and they didn't let it hold them back.
Walking with that fear.
And they stepped into the spotlight and had their moment. It's something
beautiful.
Really beautiful about that to me.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for putting that into words, because I think that's something that people witness and then they feel it and they're like, what is this?
It's wonder. It's wonder. It's awe. It's the collective. It's the feeling of watching your species accomplish. Watching another species that you love or that you have reverence for, accomplish something, and knowing what that feels like to a sentient being. What it is, a lot of people think that the feeling is success, but it's not. It's relief. It's relief. That's what you're actually feeling, is that everything culminated into this, and you came through, and it happened, and the relief of that moment. The exhale, that's what you're actually feeling when you have a success, is the relief of reaching that milestone.
If you were a superhero, what superpower would you choose?
I always thought that was such an interesting question. It's really hard to say, because I think about the downsides to everything. My first inclination would be to control the weather. But but then you see, you can, because it's so
Storm in X-Men.
It's so earth driven and I really am too. But then you could see how, if you didn't have, if you weren't omnipotent, you wouldn't know how to balance that out. Maybe, I don't know. No, I'm going to stay with control the weather, because they all have downsides. I would control the weather.
That's a really good one. What is the last topic unrelated to dogs that you like properly geeked out over?
I've been geeking out on it for 12. The state of my soul. The state of my soul is always the thing I geek out on the most. I pay attention to that more than I do anything else. I am a very wayward type of individual. It takes a lot to keep me on the rails because I'll just go off into my proclivities and my personality. So I have to spend a lot of time working on what my soul is really doing here and what my purpose really is, and not doing the things that my personality drives me to do, because my personality is here to serve my purpose, but it's really a really formidable personality, and so if I'm not careful, I'll fall into it. But it's great to have. It's great. It's got me a lot of things and it's got me really far. And but I am understanding the limitations of just trying to get what you need based on your personality. It's very limiting.
And is the book that you just finished and restarted related to
Yes.
this
Yeah,
rabbit hole,
yeah.
this
It's a
particular
great one
rabbit
to
hole? Yeah.
It's a really great one. It's called Seat of the Soul. It's a really good one to anybody at any level of their journey could understand it and benefit from it.
Yeah. Okay, so this was one of the first questions that I actually came up with for this episode, just because I think that the people out there will find this interesting. What is something that you think would really surprise the listeners or your audience to find out about you? You're like, nothing, I'm an open book.
No, there is one. Like, I'm actually a very sweet person.
You are.
I actually have a very kind heart. It's gonna
The
be
biggest heart. The biggest
That's all
heart.
I can say about that.
The
I'm
very
actually a very kind, sweet person on the inside, and stuff hurts my feelings a lot.
You're sensitive.
Yeah. I'm actually really very sensitive. I'm just really strong, and I've just been through a lot, so I
You're
know how to
resilient.
navigate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
know.
that would surprise a lot of people. I think people think I'm
You're a big old
kind in a
softie.
yeah, like kind in a way of
Loving of
like being of
animals
service
and
to others. Yeah, I
yeah,
think
yeah.
people see that, but I don't think people realize the depth of how intense that is, because I'm just goofy and it's not all there is to me. So I want to make sure I don't, because it gets a little weepy, but
And I think that you're like me in that we keep tight circles because we're so intense, right? It takes a
yeah.
lot out of us to have these really like beautiful and wonderful but intense relationships and feelings a lot of the time.
Yeah. Like another thing, I don't ever listen to anything that I say. Like and Madison, Madison gets so upset with me. She's Jerri, put the episodes on and just let them
Just
play
turn the
silently
volume
in the
down.
background. But
Gosh, you don't have to listen to yourself, but you
yeah,
do need to listen to a show.
I can't even listen
Nope.
to it. I don't listen to anything. I'll watch stuff that I've done because I'm trying to have a critical eye for my content in that way, but I also can't stand to listen to myself because I feel like I evolve so quickly and I learn so quickly and I change so quickly that something
Month to
that I
month, it's
said
like,
even
why
6
why
months
did I
ago,
say
I
that?
find embarrassing now. Yeah. So I don't know if people would know that, but that's another kind of funny thing.
I don't know if I know the answer to this question, but what is your love language?
It used to be words of affirmation, and I'm glad that it's not anymore.
Mm,
And it was a really painful process to step away from that, but it was good for me. So I think acts of service, quality time. I
yeah.
think I like connection a lot. And I like to know that people want to be, it's just it's also my love language. I think a lot of people would assume that my love language is just words of affirmation. And I'm not always doing that intentionally, as that's just part of the way my personality is. So
Yeah.
I naturally will say things to people openly, but yeah, if I want somebody to experience love from me, I spend quality time with them because they know that my time is very valuable to me as it is to a lot of other people. And when I'm carving out a slice of time for you, that means something.
Yeah.
And so I try to pay attention to that in other people as well.
What would you say is your like quirkiest or weirdest trait?
When I watch my clients, it's like they're actually in front of me. And so if you were sitting in my house, you would hear things like, "Oh my God, he's doing it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't believe it." And I'm like, "Oh, look at his little butt. Look at that little loaf." Like that is what it sounds like in my house because I genuinely am obsessed with dogs.
Yeah.
They're just
Sure.
so cute.
If somebody asked me what your top strength is, what would you hope that I would say?
Honesty.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. You are one of my truth
Radical
tellers.
honesty.
Yeah. We all need
Yeah.
truth tellers. And we were talking about this the other day. Like, there are times when we need someone to just hear us out and to a certain degree co-sign our bullshit, but it has to be
Yeah.
balanced with people that are going to hold you accountable and be honest with you. And
Mhm.
we are, I think, that to each other.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I always know if I'm trying to get around something and I won't tell you. I'll go to a different friend. It's so funny.
I'll know. Because I'll know.
Yeah. And I'll be like, she's just going to tell me I shouldn't do that. And I want to do it. But it's that kind of thing.
If you were turned into a cookie, what type of cookie would you be?
Ooh, easy. If I were turned into a cookie, I would be everyone's most favorite cookie. Generally speaking, I would be the classic Americana chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
You know,
It is the
and it's
classic.
going to be a good one. It's going to be one of those that you're like, I don't know if I've ever had a chocolate chip cookie that is this delicious.
I like the
may
ones
not-
that have the square chunks instead of the
Ooh,
chips. You know what
The
I'm talking about?
chocolate chunk, the chocolate
Yeah.
chunk cookie. Yes, also a classic.
Except you would call it a chocolate chunk.
A chocolate chunk.
Oh, look at all the plants.
I found this on the side of the road for free. To all the listeners, I'm standing next to probably a 4.5 foot tall clothes rack that you might find in, I'd say 1980s to 1990s department stores, cream in color, metal, and I turned it into a plant stand. And then I
And the
went and got the accoutrements at the Dollar General, down on at the Dollar General, a block away, for a total of $7.
Nice.
That's another quirk about me. She's a thrifter, folks.
And she acquires lots of plants.
Yeah, not as many as you, though. Remember that
No,
one
not
time that you had
anymore.
80 emotional support plants?
There were a lot of emotional support plans, but then I moved too many times, so I have
You moved,
down.
yeah.
First of all, there was a period of time in which we lost a lot of plants through neglect. And
was
then
the Black Death.
it was not a good time for me, and therefore not a good time for my plants. Really needed to go down to less plants. So I have less plants now. What is something that you've learned about yourself in the last year that really surprised you?
That I absolutely can change the things about myself that I thought were things that I would have to live with forever. That's not true. That is not true. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And if I want to change something about myself and I have the awareness and I know in my heart that it needs to change, I will do it. I will do it every single time without fail. I will come through for myself. And so that's huge for me. That's
Yeah.
huge. I have a tendency towards worry and anxiety, and something happened the other day. I locked my keys in my running Jeep and it was 100 degrees. And by the grace of God, Enzo was with me, standing next to me and not in the Jeep.
Yeah.
And luckily, but it was still really hot and I had to do something about it. But without skipping a beat, I just was like, there's a Firestone like 200 yards that way. If I just run over there and tell them, like, come over here really quick and help me, please. And they did. Some dude that works there, inevitably his wife will have a Jeep. And he'll be like, oh, yes, the Jeep women need our help again. They've done things wrong. And he came and unlocked it. And as I was driving away, I thought to myself, see, that's yet another example of how something did happen. And what did you do? You just figured out a way. So all of this stuff where you're like overly worrying about what you're going to do. Like, what do you mean? What are you going to do if that happens? You're going to figure something out and you're going to be okay.
So this one came from your stories. When we asked, I have a couple in here from your stories. And I circled this one immediately and was like, okay, this is the winner. Have you ever startled yourself awake out of a dead sleep with a fart?
With a fart? No, but I do startle myself awake, start snoring all the time. And Brett thinks it's the funniest thing because I really didn't think that I snored. And he brought it to my attention that I absolutely do. And then I knew. So then I was like, so this is what's been happening all this time, is that I'm actually just snoring and scaring myself to like awake.
Oh, that's hilarious. I think I know the answer to this one, but if you could have a song play every time you entered a room, what song would it be?
I hope everybody knows the answer to this. Hot Stuff by Donna Summers.
I was gonna do do we
Here's
say it
a
on 3, 2, 1?
dong-a-dong. There's just so many elements to that song that make it the most perfect
Entrance song.
like entrance song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Donna, I love you so much. I know
So
you're never
much.
gonna hear this podcast, but
If
I
you're
just want to
listening
say
out
it.
there, if you're
I
listening
just want
out
to say,
there,
Donna, you've just made my life so happy.
okay, so let's get into dogs for just a couple minutes. Just a couple minutes. This was another question from the stories, and I think it's a good one. What is the next dog breed that you want to have?
Something I can hunt with and something that will do well with horses. And I'm open to what that may be, but likely it will be some kind of pointer or setter, maybe a spaniel. I don't know, but something that I can grow that area of my life because I've spent 25 years with bully breeds.
Yeah.
And I've had
You
such
do
a
love
great
your little
run.
spaniels.
Yeah, I've had such a great run with them. And I don't know that I could have another one after Enzo. I think that I'll retire on
He's such an
him.
icon.
He's so iconic. He really is.
Yeah, it's true. If Tulsa Pack had a mascot that was not a dog, what would it be?
But it could be like an animal. It would be a tiger.
Hell yeah.
That should always be it. Always. If you pick tiger, where's Jerry? There's a tiger. Yeah. 100%. 100% tiger. We're a bunch of little rars out here.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
So Tulsa Pack is just so special. And it's such a powerful community. What is something about that makes you the most proud?
I wrote this on a sticky note yesterday because I was thinking about this. My vision to be of service to my community is someone's prayer for help. I said that to someone yesterday who, after 3 years, made it to this massive, huge goal. It was Yvette, one of my clients and friends and mentors. She has an intact, huge pit bull named Triton, and he's awesome. And he's an intact male. And then her daughter has a pit bull that has really struggled with reactivity for many years. And yesterday I watched the video that they put into the Dogs Anonymous group class of them walking the dogs together off leash in the desert and how huge of a moment that was. And I just took a second to tell them I had this dream in a Reese's parking lot in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the parking lot of a grocery store, that I was going to help women somehow with their dogs, but it was going to be so much more than that. And it would be like recovery. And somehow those things would be intertwined. And I had that knowing. I knew that it was going to be true, the same as I know that the sun will come up tomorrow. I saw it. And what I didn't see at the time was that vision that I had to be of service and to give back this thing that was freely given to me, and also just what animals give to me. What I didn't know was that there were literally people out there praying for someone to build something like I was building, and their prayers were literally answered.
Through you.
Yeah, I
Through
didn't.
your work.
Yeah, and I really do. I really do think that we all have a purpose, and we're all here for some greater thing, and we all feel it. We can all feel that there's something there, regardless of what you call that or what you practice. But I knew that, but now I know in my heart that the things that I create in my mind and the ideas that I have and the ways that I want to be of service, those are things that will answer people's desperate prayers for help.
Yeah.
And that is not to be taken lightly. It's very serious.
Yeah.
And so I just have to push through and just keep going, even when I don't want to do it sometimes, or I just want it, because you just realize that's part of it.
Yeah. Speaking of vision, what is the 10 years from now vision? What's the legacy, or however many years forward you can conceptualize for the legacy?
My hope would be that I'm going in the direction of what Denise does and the way that she's able to have the size of academy that she is and all those moving parts. I do something slightly different, so I recognize that there are differences there, but my goal would be, I always want to train dogs. This is my craft. This is what I do. I have much to learn still. And so I always want to make sure that I have personal clients, but I would love to get to the point where, each trainer has 10 clients, and Dogs Anonymous is getting all of the help that it needs from Tulsa Pack totally off of a volunteer basis and for
Yeah.
free. And so that's my vision, is how can I grow my business to benefit not only the people that are coming to get help, but myself and my own life, because I have dreams and goals to expand everything that I'm doing, but I have to make a living. So I have to think about that. What do I personally want to be doing on a day-to-day basis for work? And
Yeah.
what I want to be doing is helping people with their dogs. But that doesn't mean that my business can't grow. I would love to see Dogs Anonymous chapters in 10 years all over the country in person. I would love to see several virtual meetings throughout the week for people to go to. I would love to see brands partner less with influencers and more with nonprofit organizations that are not necessarily rescues, but things like Dogs Anonymous. I want to see changes in the industry. I have a lot. I could go on, and Madison knows that I'm a real long game type of person. I like
You've
to
thought about
think
this a
about
lot.
big. Yeah, I like to think about really big, huge dreams, and then how I can actually achieve those in small steps.
Do you have an all-time favorite film or favorite book?
Girl Interrupted. It's my favorite movie of all
Oh,
time.
you have told me
Girl
that.
Interrupted. Yeah. And if you haven't read the memoir Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen, who Winona Ryder played, then you should do that. There are so many things that women need to hear in that movie and that memoir. Things I live by and repeat in my brain every day. And my favorite quote from that movie is, I don't know what it's like to be you, but I know what it's like to hate the thing on the inside so much that you try to kill the outside to get to it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Who would play you in a movie of your life?
The usual suspects are Zoe Saldana, but there's actually a woman that looks identical to me. Her and we could literally be identical twins, maybe fraternal, but her name is Ariana DeBose. And at least twice a week, someone that actually knows me in real life I just turned this on and I legitimately thought that you were in a movie. I legitimately thought, oh my God, Jerri's gone from social media to the movies now, and here she
No,
is
I
on my
have to.
screen in front of.
What is it?
It's shocking. Ariana DeBose, I think, is her last name. Like,
Oh, yeah.
even Jude was like, have you seen this lady?
Yeah.
But I would
recognized her from
probably
something.
I would
Mhm,
probably
mhm.
pick Zoe Saldana.
That's a good pick. That's a
Yeah.
good pick. Do you have a current life motto right now?
Yes. Actually, I passed it off just recently
Hmm.
to Chelsea
Okay.
because she needed it, and it's working for her now too. And it was my motto for the whole last year. And I swear to God, the results that I saw. And it was just 3 simple words. Let it breathe. Breathe. Don't stop. Quiet. Don't. Let it soak in. Let it marinate. Let there be space. Let there be room. Let it breathe. You will suffocate. Women, hear me now. We will strangle and suffocate the life out of something while we blame that thing we're fucking suffocating. Let it breathe. Give it a second. Don't
Yeah.
do the thing that you want to emotionally do in the moment, because it will likely be a mistake. Just let it breathe.
I feel like one that's also popped up for us a lot in the last maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months is the measured steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That's
we're
another
both
good one.
dive off the
Mhm,
cliff type people.
mhm, Yes. God.
Got
And
a
then
plan
what?
and a lifeline and a safety net.
Yeah,
And as I'm doing that, you're gone
I
off the
know. I'm
cliff.
like, let's free climb. It'll be fun.
But both been
But now
trying
what
to,
it is,
yeah.
what is loving, what is patient, what is
Mm,
loving, what is tolerant. That's what I'm really working on right now. But be positive. Don't, if when I find myself swirling in negative thoughts, because my personality is a real big shit talker and a real big cynic, even though that may not be who I really am on the inside, that it is developed for a reason to serve me in a variety of ways. But as soon as I start hearing that bullshit, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting a little bit tired of this.
yeah.
I just say that to myself. I'm getting a little bit tired of this, because once again, I'm going to say the same. That is not loving and that is not patient. So you can do that if you want to, but I'm starting to get tired of you. And that's how I change things. I get tired of it.
Yeah.
I get grossed out by myself. And then I'm like, okay, let's make a change.
What's next on your personal bucket list? Big, small, doesn't matter.
Next on my personal bucket list is to have a successful year with rodeo. And with what, let's be more specific with Layla's sports, is to have a better idea of, because last year was the first time for everything. And so it's just to have I want to be more fluid. I want to be more efficient, because what I need to do in the future is to take on increasing responsibility at increasing it more times for longer times. And I have to be good at what I'm doing or I can't grow. And so this year I'm really focused on doing all the things that I need to do that make the machine go. And also this year feeling better about the rodeo schedule and feeling, no, I can do all these things. I can make all this happen, but I have to be efficient and I can't be wasting time. So right now I'm practicing that. I took Snapchat off. We're not going to be doing that. We're not going to do that. And I really am trying to focus during the day and keep to myself. I hate to say it. I'm always here for my friends. Anytime you guys text me, I'll always answer anyways, but I'm just really trying to be a little bit more quieter and keep to myself a little more. And I've found that's helped me fill my time with things that need to get done.
Yeah, I get that. I do. Do you believe in magic?
I believe in, yes. I think that it's called different things, but I believe we would be fools to think. We would be dumb, soppy fools, the dumbest variety, to think there's not things going on here that we just don't know about or don't have access to or have been lost to the ways that human beings are. We would just be, I think that's foolishness. So I believe in magic. I believe in aliens. I believe in ghosts. I believe in all of it. And I'm typically I'm not easy to fool. I'm not a gullible person. I've been around the dark side way too much. So I wouldn't say that I'm a woo-woo sort of.
Yeah.
But no, I believe in all of that stuff.
So I have another one from the stories, which I think this is a really good one. Ooh. When you first got sober, how did you make friends?
I was friends with the same way I make friends today. I find people that are walking on the same road that I'm walking on, and then I ask if they want to hold hands and walk together. What's that old African proverb? If you want to go fast, go along. If you want to go far, go together. So I found people that were doing what I was doing. And what that meant was people that were afraid they were going to die because they were drinking themselves to death and that did not want to do that anymore. I could have cared less about their other qualities at that point. It did not matter to me if they were man, woman, old, young, tall, short, black, white, didn't matter. Are you trying to not die too? Oh my God, same. Can we talk? Can we hang out? And I would go early to meetings and I would stay late at meetings. And I would go to a lot of meetings and I would meet a lot of different people. And I made really good friends that way that I've maintained friendships with for many years. Because when you try to not die with someone, that you can't break that bond ever. Yes. There's nothing that will break that bond. No, time is irrelevant. Like you could see him 10 years later and the feeling that you just have, my God, we made it. Oh, it's great. So that's what you do. You find people that are doing what you're doing, and what you're doing is not going to drink at the bar. What you're doing is not cracking open a 30-pack of fucking Keystones and watching the game. You're not doing that. So if you hang out with those people, you're going to think the way those people think.
What is something that you tell yourself every day? I think this is another one from the stories. What's something that you tell yourself every day to keep going?
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
And then reinforcement for yourself.
And then I do a good job. And when I'm not doing a good job, I notice. What are you doing, Jerri? Here you are wasting time again. You got to quit. And then I move on. Because what we say to ourselves to keep going it cannot just be positive reinforcement for particular types of people. I'm one of them. One of my sons is great with just positive reinforcement. My youngest son, you could fly him to the moon but for some people it's just not. And I have to have pressure. I have to have honesty. So that means with myself. And I've had women hear the way that I talk to myself and they're like, that is mean. I'm like, maybe to you, maybe you can't handle hearing that you're a dumb bitch. Well, I can. And I reserve that for when I do something really dumb. Generally, that's reserved for like completely and totally not paying attention to the needs of another human being. Wow. how dare you, that kind of thing. I'll use pretty strong language with myself over, but I don't want to hear that. I don't want to talk to myself like that. So I have to fix it. I have to do something so that the words that are coming out are things I want to hear. That's just the way that it works with me. And I'm open to it not always being like that. I'm open to that being different. But I try to do a really good job. And when I do, or I'll go, hell yeah, that was a good day. It's important to acknowledge that. You acknowledge everything. You don't cherry pick just the stuff that you like about what you're doing. And then the rest of it is just, I have a unusual relationship with my mother based on that premise, is because I saw a behavior in someone that I don't want to emulate. I don't want to. It doesn't mean I don't love her. It doesn't mean I don't think she's wonderful and has wonderful qualities. That is not what any of that means. It just means that I want to be a person that has the ability to be honest with myself about my own behaviors and the way that I affect others around me, and to not put my head in the sand about it and then go over here and do whatever. It's just disingenuous to me.
Yeah. What role would you say that you play in our dynamic, in our friendship?
In our friendship, do I have to just pick one?
No, you can do whatever you want.
The main one, I think my role is to be just a little bit ahead of you on the trail. So I'm
Always.
just a little bit ahead with my machete, and I'm hacking weeds and I'm going, and I have to turn around and say, Mattison, use your machete. Let's go.
Madison, stop looking at that fern.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah,
But did you
Mattison,
see it?
we don't, yeah. But I also think that I would be hacking aimlessly sometimes, that I would be that.
I have the map. You can't leave me behind.
I don't necessarily have the map. I just know that we can get there. And so I'm the brawn. You're the brains. I'm the brawn. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that is what it is. But I also love your brain, so I feel like that's also
Yeah,
part of
that's
it.
true. That's true.
Has there ever been something that Mattison, have taught you without realizing it?
I try to tell you the things that you teach me. It's just so you know, because I think that's something people miss out on a lot of times, is they just think people assume, or they just assume that people know that the impact that they've had, and a lot of times we really don't. There's just a lot going through my head. I would say that the thing that's had the most impact on me that I don't know that I've maybe verbalized to you is that I don't often meet someone that has done things at the level that I did them or worse. It's just not very common for me. And so it's an experience for me, and it allows me to be around someone that has overcome something that my brain can't even wrap itself around. And there's a deep reverence that I have for that, and a deep respect that I have for that quality in you, that story, that experience. And it has shaped my life tremendously when it comes to the things that I think will break me, or the things that I think are really difficult to make it through. That is one of my new frames of reference now, as opposed to just the things that have happened to me. Now I can actually, that's what happens when you get really close to someone and you're really honest with them and you have a real friendship, is that you begin to accept parts of them as parts of you. That is real empathy. That is real compassion. And so now there is part of me that has been in prison for a long time. And so when I hear that, or I hear something about incarcerated people, it's totally different to me now than it was before. It's like me. And I think that's a profound impact to have on a human being, is to give them something that helps them practice true, realized empathy in a situation that is desperate, that is among the most desperate, sad things that can happen to a human being. For somebody to give me the gift of having more empathy in that area is priceless.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me. That's something that when you're incarcerated, you're told that your loved ones are pretty much incarcerated right along with you. And I know that it impacted my family while I was away, but I would not have really thought about it impacting people in my life now in that way. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, this is the last one. Last question.
Ooh.
If we weren't dog trainers, what do you think we would be doing instead?
Like together or separately?
I think both. I think both. Both a universe where we are doing our own thing and never met because we weren't doing dogs, and both in a universe where we did meet and we're doing something else together.
Well, in another life, or if I wasn't doing this, okay, I need a lot of qualifiers for this question because I think it's a good one. But is this something that I have to pick based on the skill set I have now, or just another dream that I have that I would have invested my time and stuff into? If it's,
I
is
think
it
either
me,
would be
Jerri, as
fine.
I am now?
Yeah. Yes. You, Jerri, as you
Okay,
are
because
now.
me, Jerri, as I am now, a 42-year-old with the experiences that I have and the career history that I have, if I wasn't doing this, I would be pursuing my dream of having an animal hospital
hmm
because
hmm
that's the only other. And also, I don't know that Layla would be doing what she's doing without this. So I can't really say I wouldn't have been able to afford horses. So
Right.
so that's hard to say too. Oh, I'd be doing this with Layla or whatever. It's we wouldn't have horses. So if everything stopped today and I had to go to something else, yeah, I'll always work with animals. I'll always do this. But in a different world where I would have had what I really wanted growing up and had the life that I really wanted had I had my mom is a city person. My mom is not a country person. And as much as the rest of us in the family are and ended up to be, that wasn't going to happen. But had that happened, I would be living the life that Layla had lived as a teenager. I would have been
Right.
rodeoing. And you know how I am. We're going to do it. We're going to do
All
it. And we're going
in.
to be the best. Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're going to do a whole thing. And so I probably would have been a barrel
And
racer or
competing
something like
in,
that.
yeah, in
Yeah,
that realm. Yeah, I agree.
or been doing hunter jumper or something because that's what I did when I was younger, so I maybe would have continued on in that or something like that, but it would have been a life with animals as well, with horses, and
Yeah.
it still is, and now it is just a different way. And then what would we
Yeah.
be doing together? We could do a lot of stuff together. I don't know what we would be doing together if we couldn't do something with the animals. Like, that doesn't even sound fun, dude. That
No,
sounds
I can't even wrap
sad.
my head around it.
Maybe it's just because we can't think of it because we've already done the things that we want to do together. We're
Yeah.
already doing them.
I love my business. I love my life,
Yeah, same. I
Yeah.
love my business. I love my life. I love how I get to work with my best friends, literally.
Yeah.
I love my hobbies and my personal life. I like the separation. I like that I'm
Mhm.
still a very private person, even though I share so much. I like that my friends are private people, even though they share so much. And things are good. Things are good. And I'm going to say they're good when they're good. And I'm not going to do that thing I used to where I try to talk about how great things are. Things are fucking great. I used to keep alcohol and hydrogen peroxide bottles hidden in my medicine cabinets, and I'd put them inside my shower and I'd drink them when I took a shower. They were full of liquor. They were full of cheap vodka. And the funny thing about that is I lived alone. Who was I doing that? Who did I think was going to come over? And this is the type of stuff that I used to, you know what I'm saying? Madison was telling me a story the other day about, she was like, oh, this lady that I was incarcerated with, she used to make up the funniest songs. And then she started singing a song about pads and how in the tampon
Making them
factory, and
into tampons.
it helps me have perspective. It helps me have perspective. And I think about all of the time. I know some people recover and they try to push that away and they don't want to talk about their past. And they, boy, howdy, I do. I'll
Yeah.
bring up some random story like that right in the middle of talking about how great things are on purpose. I do
Mm.
that on purpose. Wow, I used to just be I'd wake up in the morning and chug a whole bottle of wine at 5 o'clock in the morning, pass out for a whole day, not even know what happened and who'd been there. And look at me now. Look at me now. Look at you now. You think about those kinds of things. You think about opening your eyes, and above you is a bunk in a cell. And look at you now. Like, that's a miracle. That's a
It-
fucking
It's the
miracle.
window for me. That's why I always make a big deal about my window in my office. And I love it because I literally used to look at the world through bars and then two
Oh,
barbed wire fences, if I even had a view, if it wasn't just
yeah.
looking out at another concrete wall. And it's one of the reasons why I escape in the woods as often as I can, because being,
Yeah.
away from people and being out away from lights and those things, it's seeking the opposite of that.
hmm Yeah, it makes it all that much more special when you've seen not that, when you've seen the opposite of that.
I actually hadn't seen the stars for, I think, almost 4 years when I got piss tested in the middle of the night and walking over at
And you were
4
like,
a.m.
oh, look at this.
I remember everyone
stars.
grumbling because like we all got woken up, in the middle of the night for a random piss test. And I just remember looking up and seeing the stars and being like, we haven't been out after dark. It's against the rules. So it was just really powerful. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to think of that when I'm riding my bike and looking at the stars tonight. Last night, I was riding down my lonely, dark country road, which is a huge deal for me. Enzo wasn't with me, which is a huge deal for me because I have been afraid of the dark for as long as I can remember, most of my life. And so it's nice to, I don't know what I think is going to come out of there and get me. It's not going to be a human being. It's just, I don't live in a place where that I'd be real afraid if you were a human being and you approached me on a dark road. I would run. I would fear for your life. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not.
Yeah.
And so I let all this stuff go and realized like things look really scary in the dark, but I know what this looks like because I drive this road all the time. And so I started paying attention to what the little shadows were, and I realized what they were. And then as the week goes on, the moon grows and it brightens and brightens. You can see more and it's not so dark. And there's a whole world out there at night. The smells are different. The sounds are different. You can think. It's not so stimulating. It's really peaceful. I can't imagine not having that for years and then seeing it for the first time in 4 years. How breathtaking. Bittersweet.
Yeah. And then I got stage fright. Couldn't pee in front of the officer. So that was
looking at the
thing.
stars. I can't handle this. That's funny.
Thank
They're
you.
like, you're just trying to stay out later so you can look at that Big Dipper.
They wouldn't have been wrong. Thank you for digging
All right.
into all of this with me, answering all these personal questions.
That was fun. Yeah. I can't imagine why anybody would care about any of that, but if they do, it's a good listen.
Unpacked was created by Jerri Scherff and Mattison Simpson.
If you are enjoying this podcast, follow or subscribe to be sure you don't miss an episode, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
Looking for more honest and relatable dog content? Check out our sister podcast, Straight Up Dog Talk. See you next time.